Got some more Mayotivations for you, presented by Hellman's. The second half of our Monday Night Football doubleheader will feature two teams in the NFC who know how to put points on the board. The Seahawks and the Lions have combined to average 80.3 points per game, over 900 total yards per game, and 52 first downs per game over their last three meetings. I'm sure Aiden Hutchinson will have something to say about that with how he is playing, but we are excited for this one, kicking off at 8:15 over on ABC. Back here with the fellas, Jeremy St. Louis, Haley Sutton with Mike Renner and Kyle Long. Guys, let's dive into this Seahawks-Lions matchup. We're going to start with the Seahawks here. They're 3-0 under Mike McDaniel. He's the first head coach, by the way, in Seattle to lead a team to a 3-0 start. So I kind of want to start there. How much credit, Kyle, should we be giving Mike Macdonald for what the Seahawks have done so far?
I give him a lot of credit. The defense has played well. Obviously, they're undefeated, so this has been a fun team to watch. But he goes into a locker room with an established leader in Geno Smith and some real weapons on the offensive side of the ball. At the receiver position, they got two guys that can run the football. So McDonald, credit to you for getting this thing all in unison, but a huge opportunity and test against the Lions. It'll tell us so much about the Seahawks. But McDonald, your defense is doing well. And we like Geno Smith on pushing the plow. That guy can throw the football around pretty well. Gives you a chance to win every week.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the numbers right there. Mike Macdonald has turned what was a bottom 5 defense in the NFL a year ago to a top 5. And now those are maybe a little pumped up by who they played. This is going to be a great test. It's probably the first real deal offense that they're going to face all year. But I do think Mike Macdonald and that scheme is real because they haven't had a ton of additions to have that turnaround. It's been mostly scheme-related, mostly development-related, and I think what he did in Baltimore, you saw was really easily translatable to now what they're doing in Seattle on the defense side of the ball. So it's real, but this is the first real test for the Seahawks this season.
Geno Smith has won 4 consecutive games, 4 consecutive starts for the first time in his career. He's got 3 consecutive road wins as well. So when we look at Geno Smith in this offense, are we giving Geno Smith enough credit here? I know you guys say you like him, but what would a win here do for him in terms of his stock? Because we were talking before we came in here about the credibility attached to this win for the Seattle Seahawks. What about for Geno Smith?
Yeah, I mean, for Geno Smith, the opportunity to go on the road in Detroit, playing Jared Goff in his favorite place, which is indoors, it's such a tremendous opportunity. And yeah, we give Geno his flowers, and he's done a really good job. You know, he didn't write his haters back. Well, now we're going to have to write him back and say, oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't quite familiar with your game to this extent, because if he goes and beats the Lions on the road, this Seattle team is legit. Because when you've got a quarterback and you've got weapons on the outside, coupled with a really good defense and a great defensive coach like Mike Macdonald, this team can make noise throughout the course of the season, and it starts with getting a win in Detroit.
There really aren't many quarterbacks, if any, playing as consistently, as effectively as Geno Smith is right now. He has those 3 picks, but they were 3 all unlucky picks in his favor. So he's playing really clean football from a decision-making perspective, from an accuracy perspective, and Ryan Grubbs in this offense is giving him options. They do a lot of 5-out. They do a lot of stuff, getting guys spacing concepts to where he can read either side of the field. It's not one guy and run. It's he can get wherever he wants to go, and he's making really effective, quick decisions. It's just, can the offensive line hold up? That's the one thing. That's when the drives go in the tank, is when the pressure comes quickly. That's going to be a problem against Detroit's defensive line.
Yeah, well, from one offensive line to the other, let's talk about Detroit's offensive line, because they will be without their center, Frank Ragnow. So obviously that's got to be tough. Sam Laporta is back in this game, though, so exciting there. But Kyle, as a former offensive lineman, how much does it disrupt the rest of the offense when a key piece of your offensive line is missing?
Well, the center position is so important. It's the keystone of the offensive line. And not only is he working in conjunction with the left guard, but he's also with the right guard. He's in communication with both tackles throughout the course of the game. But I think the big missing ingredient when Frank Ragnow is out of the lineup is just tenacity, toughness, and physicality at the line of scrimmage, the ability to get plays started. And when we talk about offensive lines in the National Football League, it usually starts with a guy like Penei Sewell, play starters, guys that can stretch the defense and get guys off their spot. That's what Frank Ragnow does in the middle. He takes your baddest guy on the defensive front, and he usually makes mincemeat of him. I love watching this guy on film, and it is a huge void for that offensive line having him out.
Especially since, where does Jared Goff struggle? It's that interior pressure. We saw it in that Bucs game, which was easily his worst game he played all season. It was Vita Vea living in his lap all game long. If that's the case this week, and I know the Seahawks have themselves some banged up guys on the interior of their defensive line, but if pressure's getting home in his lap early on, I think Seahawks could dictate terms in this game.
I wonder if the key for the Lions here might be the fit. tonight.
Yes.
Because they're wearing the black uniforms tonight with the blue. Is it
You're
not
not as
blue?
excited as I am.
You know, hey, look, I am 100% with you because this is giving me Carolina Panthers vibes, and that's not what I want from the Detroit Lions.
I'm obsessed with the black.
It's kind of Duke, kind of UNC. You know, we're talking the Detroit Football Lions here. You know, we got to.
Hey, this is better than those. This is better than those god-awful gray jerseys that they wear.
Oh, 100%.
I think the gray's better than the black.
Oh, no, man. Yeah, we're on
I think it
different
is.
sides of the spectrum.
How do you live with being that
Fight me.
wrong?
That's good.
Great. You don't know if you're home. You don't know. It's kind of mysterious, the gray. You know what I'm saying?
So
It's
we're
not
out
mysterious.
on the
It's
black.
ugly. It looks like a scrimmage jersey. It's like a high school team.
They look like Duke. They look like Duke.
They're going fast in the black.
I like the black. I also, though, was kind of on the outside when the Commanders rolled out their black jerseys. I know a lot of people didn't care for those, but I did. I liked the Commanders black.
I'm just not a fan. Sorry, that's just me.
Commanders still working on finding their identity, though.
Okay, we've got to give props when props are there. Like, the jerseys are fire. The black are fire.
We're talking about it, so it must be something, right? I mean, come on.
Oh,
Everything
man.
looks good with Jaden Daniels. Let's be honest.
Okay.
Everything looks good with.
I don't know that he's worn the black.
Well, he's going to, and he'll probably put up 4 touchdowns and 400.
And it'll probably be against the Cowboys. All right, let's move on. We got to get a pick from you guys. The Lions favored in this one at -4.5. Point total is set at 46.5. Kyle, I know you were kind of going back and forth.
Oh, there's no back and
Kyle,
forth.
I'm sorry, Mike, you were going back and forth about who was going to win this one.
I was, because I do think that both these offensive lines are going to have problems, but I think the one that's going to have the most problems is this Seahawks offensive line blocking Aiden Hutchinson, because no one's done it yet this year. Just flat out no one. He's rushing the passer better than anyone else in the NFL, and if that's the case, I think he takes this one over, and I think the Lions get it done.
Yeah, the guy does not leave the football field. Message to young pass rushers: if you want to get paid more, just don't leave the field. Your numbers get higher. You have a higher chance of sacks. That being said, I've got the Lions. I think Seattle covers the line. It's going to be a tight game.
Okie dokie. Well, you guys can get more of them on Pushing the Pile. I got to lock into the podcast. This was fun, and so I'm sure you guys have a lot of fun. What can we expect on the latest episode?
Well, today we did the recap of all Sunday's action. We got into a little bit of the Monday night stuff. Tomorrow we're going to be doing power rankings with Pete. Wednesday we go into deep dive with Lige Douzable, who is fabulous at his job. We're lucky to have him.
Oh my gosh, I asked you for one episode and you gave me the whole week's rundown. Scan that QR code on your screen or listen wherever you get your pods.